To be consistently successful in forex trading, forex traders need to go through a comprehensive learning process. The best tool to guide and optimize the forex trader system is through the use of a trading journal. If you plan on becoming a successful forex trader, I recommend you start implementing the use of a trading journal, which can steer your way faster to a profitable career. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is KingSwinger. I'm a forex trader based in Ghana, and on this channel we explore more about forex trading and how we can become consistently profitable. So if you are new here and are looking to learn more about forex trading, I recommend you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so whenever I post educative content like this, you will be notified as fast as possible. In this video, I want to show you how you can create a simple but effective trading journal using Notion. Let's roll. Before we dive deep into this video, let me briefly explain what a trading journal is and its importance to a forex trader. Simply put, a trading journal is where we record and review our daily trades for better output and for future reference. As simple as that. That is the simplest explanation I can give to what a trading journal is. Now let me give two major importance of implementing the use of a trading journal as a forex trader. Now the first point I want to talk about is it helps clarify your weakness and strength. Guys, let me explain this. By tracking your trades over time, you are then able to see the differences and the similarities between great setups and not so great setups. By doing this, you are then able to filter down the number of setups that you take so that you won't be in the market taking every single setup that you see. And that is the reason why most traders are not finding profitability in forex trading, because they trade every setup that they see. And one thing that I've come to learn about forex trading is you are not always going to win. All right, you are not always going to win. So therefore, you need to reduce the number and also filter the number of setups that you take. You need to take high probability setups, and the one way that you will be able to know the setups that are high probability is by journaling your trade. And when you journal them, when you take maybe a month or two journal trades that you have taken, you then be able to see that okay, this setup really works for me, this setup doesn't really work for me. So you filter them down so you stick to one setup. And that is what I did in my own experience. All right, when I realized that these setups were not working for me, I stopped trading them and I stick to only the setups that were working for me. Now the second reason why it's important for every forex trader to keep a trading journal is growth. Guys, we know growth only happens by learning from previous experience, and that is exactly what a trading journal allows us to do. When you go through your previous trades in an effective and efficient manner, you are then able to see mistakes you have been making, and by doing this, we are then able to set out a rule in our trading plan which will prevent us from making such mistakes again. Now, this is how you grow as forex traders, by careful and consistent review. Keeping a trading journal is a must for all professional traders. Guys, now let's dive straight to my screen and let's start creating our trading journal template in Notion. Let's go. So let's just get right to it. So as you can clearly see on my screen, I have my ultimate trading journal, and that is the exact trading journal that I've been using for some time now. But I created this new template for the purpose of this video so I can start explaining to you guys from scratch how to use it effectively, how to create it and use it effectively. Alright. But the major component of every trading journal is having a section for your pair, position, stop loss, opening and closing dates, risk to reward, confirmations, and result. All right, and as you can clearly see on my screen or on this simple table that I've created in Notion, you can see that I have a section for my pair, a section for my position, where when you click on my position section, you have an option that can tell you to choose a buy or sell. So depending on the situation you choose, you have a section for stop loss, opening and closing dates. All right, as you can see, I have risk to reward, I have my confirmations, right? I have a couple of confirmations here, but this one is going to vary based on how you trade. All right, I also have a result where you choose whether the trade was a win or a loss. So I'm going to show you how to create this template, and even if you don't want to go through the stress, all right, if you don't want to go to the stress of creating this template for yourself, I'll leave a link to this exact trading template so you can also just get your hands on it and start using it in your trading. All right, but before I even dive deep on how to create this trading journal, let's talk about Notion. All right, guys, if you're new to Notion, by the way, I'll leave the link to Notion right in the description below. It's a very good note-taking software, but that I've really come to fall in love with over time, and it's really helping me because previously, because I didn't like writing things down, I used to forget things randomly. I used to not do the things that I really wanted to do because I didn't write it down. But ever since I came, and even with YouTube, all right, now I don't go into any new week thinking of what I want to, the kind of video that I want to shoot, because I have a section for my YouTube content calendar that I have a bunch of ideas. Then I have a section for scripting where I script my videos. I have a section for shooting, editing, and when it's published, everything. So it has made things really, really systematic for me. I have a trading dashboard, all right, where I have my trading plan, my ultimate trading journal, trading goals, trading notes, 7 principles of consistency. I mean, everything is really structured for me. So things have really become clear for me in my trading and also in my personal life, my productivity. I also have my ultimate tasks, okay, that I use to track my daily tasks, the projects I'm working on, the calendar, everything is right here. And if you want to have a hands-on Notion, like I said, I'll leave the link to Notion right in the description below. You can also check it out. So, I mean, do a lot of research for yourself, and I really think, especially if you're a trader and you also pick this app for yourself and also start implementing it and tracking your goals, trust me, it's really going to help you. So let's go deep into it, all right? Let's go deep into it. So we want to create this simple table that will contain the major components of every trading journal. Like I said, the major components are pair, the position, the stop loss, the opening and closing date. You have the risks to reward, the confirmations that you saw in the result, all right? But before I start creating this video, I have this some interesting section here that I want to show you, all right? When you click on, you see where my pair section, I have my US oil. When you click on it, right, another side section will open where the options that you choose, all right, the option that you choose in the table part will show here, and also have this simple thing that I created here, screenshot. So you share a screenshot of the forecasting you made before you took the trade, when you made an entry, and when you exited the trade. You also have the advanced self-review, the ASR, where you ask yourself some personal questions, right? Like, was the trade taken according to the plan? All right, because you need to have a trading plan for a trade. So was the trade taken according to your plan? We also have another session where it goes like, how well did you manage this trade? Another session also go like, what did you learn from this trade? So you just, I mean, it's a toggle. So you just click it and you just put in your idea, blah blah blah. You just write it down, right? So that when you take a look at your trades over time, you get to know a detailed version of what really transpired when you took the trade. But if you leave everything to your brain to remember all your trades, trust me, it's not going to work. So that's one interesting feature that if you use Notion to track your trades, you're going to get. All right. So let's create a new page that will start creating this template from scratch. All right. Let's create a new page that will start creating this notes from scratch. So let's just dive straight into it. So if you want to add a new page to Notion, all right, when you come where I have lots of so if you want to create a new page in Notion, all right, when you come, so when you want to create a new page in Notion, all right, you just come here, see where I have my mouse at, right? So down here you have add page. When you click on it, it's going to create a new page, a new first page for you, all right? And I mean, you can create a lot of pages. And when you create a page, you have you need to create a title. So for the purpose of you're going to write a trading journal. You can even add an icon to it, right? Anything, any emoji that you want, you can add to it. You can add anything. You can even add cover to this particular page. Anything, you can choose from a lot of covers. All right, you can choose from a lot of covers. You have gallery default images there. You can also choose from Unsplash. Unsplash is an image website where you can get a lot of images, and I think there's a collaboration between Notion and Unsplash where you can have access to that pictures right through Notion. Alright, so you can also choose that if you can search it, the kind of image that you want, and it's all going to pop up. But for the purpose of it, let's say something simple, right? Something simple. So let's just choose this. And when you want to create a table like you saw on the other section, right? You come to data. When you create a new page, you see a database here. And you have table, you have board, you have list, you have timeline, you have the calendar and gallery there. But you choose table because you want things to be structured in a journal, right? So you choose table. When you choose table, all right, Notion will give you an option to link this database to other pages. All right, so we have all tags, you have daily tags, you have content calendar you use. I already showed you those aspects already. So it will ask you if you want to link this new page to the other pages, but you can decide to link it on depending on what you are doing. But for the purpose of this video, we won't link this page to any other page. So we go for a new. See, there's a right at the bottom here, you see a new database, and we have a beautiful table here. So when our table comes, that is when we are going to create our sections. Like I said earlier on, the major component of every trading journal is what? It's a pair. So we have our first session, which will be what? A pair. We also have another session, which is going to be what? It's going to be the position. We're also going to have another section again, which is going to be what? The stop loss. We're also going to have another session, which is going to be the date. All right, open date. Open date. We're also going to have another session which is going to be the close date. We're also going to have another session which is going to be the risks to reward. Alright, risks to reward. Risks to reward. We're going to have another session which will be like confirmations, right? Confirmations. We're going to have another session which will be what? Results. Another session which will be result. I hope I'm right? So this is the major component. Let me just cross check it one more time and make sure I'm doing the right thing. I feel like I've left something behind. So stop loss, open, risk to reward. So yes, I'm right. So we have our major components, our pair, our position, our stop loss, our open date and closing, the risk to reward, confirmations and result, right? So I mean we can just tweak it depending on how you want it. Just maybe reduce the pages a little bit. It's too wide for us. It doesn't need this white space. Alright, we can just make it so that to be very small for our eyes to capture everything in one. Alright, have confirmations. Confirmations is eventually going to be longer. Alright, so we have our pair session here and our position. Alright, our position, we need to give it an option. Alright, we can in Notion you can choose something rather than you always writing buy or sell. Alright, you can create a default option where, like I showed you in the other session, right? Like I showed you when you click here, it's going to give you an option to buy or to sell. It's going to give you two options. So we need to create those kind of section. Notion allows us to create this kind of section, and if you want to create this specific one, you just click on the properties. All right, when you click on it, it will show you to edit property. Then you choose type. To open another slide here, we choose type. If you want that particular option that I said, you choose what? Select. All right. So when you choose select, it will ask you to add an option. All right. So the first option is going to be what? Buy. And then the next option is going to be what? Sell. So we have two options, right? You can even change the colors. You have a lot of colors you can pick from. So buy can be green, and sell can be what? Sell can be red. So you can see this is how we create this system. You cancel it. So when you come here, when you immediately click on it, it's going to give you an option to create either a sell or to choose either a sell or what? A buy. Alright, so this is how you create this simple option. Now the next one is stop loss. Obviously, stop loss, you don't need to create any option for. You can just type it 12 pips or what? 12 pips or whatever pips it is, but you don't need to put anything there. You also have an open date and closing date. Now we can also edit the property, okay, of this section to which is the open date and closing date. Alright, we don't always have to come and start typing maybe 7 June or anything of that sort. You can create a default or property for it that to immediately pop up a date or a calendar for us to choose. Then you can move faster, right? And that's one thing I love about Notion. So you come to edit property, choose type, then we go for what? We go for calendar, right? We go for a calendar. Where is it? We go for date. Alright, we go for date. So when you click on it, alright, the calendar is immediately going to pop up. Then you can choose the exact date that we open that exact trade, and we will do the same thing too for the closing date. You go to edit properties, you choose type, and you're choosing for date. Alright, we can cancel it, so the same thing will appear here. Alright, the same thing will appear here, and we can when you immediately click on it, our calendar is immediately going to pop up for us to edit anything that we want. When you come to our risk reward aspect, you don't need to put in any unique property, right? You can just type anything, maybe 2:1. You can just type in there anything that we want, right? And when it comes to our confirmations, we can also give that same option that we give to position, right? We'll have a lot of options. Now let's go to edit property, and let's see the particular option that we can use. And let's see the particular option we can use for for the confirmations, right? So when you come type, you can choose multi-list, because confirmations, we have a lot of confirmation that we can use. So for us to choose options, because options is like choosing one thing over the other. So multi-select will give us an option to select a lot of things, right? So when you choose multi-select, you can add options. So you can add double top. So now we are adding the list that we choose. So we can add double top. You can add double top. Depending on your trading system, right? Depending on the trading system, you can add the confirmations that you use before you take trade. So for the purpose of, I won't add a lot, just for the purpose of this video. So you can choose your confirmations, and when you click here, your confirmations are going to come. Then you click also, these were the confirmations that you saw before you took the trade. Right now we have results. Results too. We can also use the same option that we used for the position, right? Because we are choosing between either win or loss. So we have to go in for the property of what? Options. So now we click on options. Where's options? Options, which is also called select in Notion. All right. So we click select. You add an option which is going to be either a win or loss. But win or what? Loss. All right. So when you click here, it's either going to be a win. Like I said, you can easily change the colors by coming here, win. And you change the colors by coming here, then you change the colors. Alright, beautiful. Alright, and you can see how easy that I just created this trading journal just by understanding how. But there's one thing that I want to talk about, alright, because you can see earlier on when you come to this template that I created here, when you click on US oil, a side view will open where what you choose in the table section will appear right at the top here. And I also created another section where I have the screenshot, right, where you put in the screenshot of what you saw before you took the trade, which is the forecasting aspect. I also have a place where you put in a screenshot of where you do what, where you made an entry, and also have another screenshot of where you made what, an exit. So when you come and you click on the toggle, you can just paste your image here. You come the entry section to the same thing. I also have another section called the advanced self-review that I think I've always spoken about it. Alright, so let's go into that section and see how you can create this section too. So when you come here, when you click here, alright, when you click on, you can also save it as a template. It's so easy. But let me just show you how I created it. But then if you want to create as a template, you can see that you have please enter to continue to an empty page or create template. You can see this section right here. Alright. But then if you want to create it as a template, all right, so that you won't always have to be writing all these things, just create a template and you are good to go. So you click on create template, and another view open where you can name the template any one that you want. You can just name it maybe screenshot, anything. I don't want to think too much on this. Screenshot. What am I right? I think yes, screenshots. And you don't have to really add. You don't really have to add anything here. Now I want to create a first section called a screenshot. All right, so you just click and add a heading. And heading, you can also click a symbol again and choose screen. All right, I like using this a lot. So you can name our first heading screenshot. All right, screenshot. And also, so you have our first section of the screenshots called the forecasting. All right, so we choose our toggle list. You have our first section called what? The forecasting. All right, first section called the forecasting. We have another section also called the entry. When we made in the entry, we put a screenshot there. We also have exits, right? We also have exits. Okay, so after we are done, we also create another section called advanced self-review, the ASR, right? So for us to do this, we create this same thing again. Create our first heading. We also create a green background. I like doing that. It's not by force for you to create a green background, right? But then you can choose to do it or not. We also have the advanced self-review, right? So advanced self-review. ASR. Yes, you can also create another toggle list for that one. where we'll have, can ask ourselves any questions. Like I said, it depends on you, the individual, the kind of question that you want to ask yourself, right? So you can have yeah. So I just placed a couple of questions here. So you can ask yourself, like I said, you can ask yourself any random question. So you have, was this trade taken according to your plan? And you also have how did you manage this trade, and what do you learn from this trade? Like, you can put any random question, but I'll just put these 3 questions here, and you can just, like I said, you are creating a template so you can come back to it anytime you want, right? So you can just come back here, and you have, when you see this section, you can see you have screenshot. So whenever you open any new page, you're going to see a screenshot section, so you don't always have to type it. So you just click on it to look for some time, and immediately your template will come. So therefore you just put in your images. Okay, whenever you create any new page, you can just add this template, so you don't always have to create this template again, so you can put in your stuff. So this is how you create a simple but effective trading journal using Notion, and I believe strongly that you guys really got something from watching this video, and I recommend you watch this video twice. All right, you don't watch it only once, you watch it twice, so that you get it. Probably maybe you feel maybe I went fast or anything of that sort. Just watch it once again, so that you can also get a detailed understanding of how to use this Notion, how to use Notion to create this simple trading journal, which is eventually going to help you in your trading.